Okay, back for another movie review. This is Tales from the Darkside. Yeah, this basically ran from 1984 to 1988, so it lasted 4 seasons. I still need to get the 4th and final season. Yeah, this is the first season. It's the front, that's the inside. Oops. And then that's the back. Now, the only special feature on here is not a commentary with George Romero, who executive produced this show. It's only on the very first episode. Just to go on the list, the first disc we have Trick or Treat, which is the very first episode, which premiered on October 29th, 1983. Then you have The New Man, which came out in September of 84. I'll Give You a Million, Painkiller, The Odds, Mookie and Pookie, Slippage, Inside the Closet, The Word Processor of the Gods, which actually I believe that one was directed by Jodie Foster. The Case of the Stubborns, that was a classic one. It has a young Christian Slater and Eddie Bracken, the late Eddie Bracken, who played the owner of Wally's World and National Lampoon's Vacation. It's where he's dead. He has passed away, but he doesn't realize and tells his family, "No, I'm not dead." And then things start to fall off, like his ear or his arm or his fingers, and then all of a sudden his nose falls off, and then you realize that he really is dead. He smells and all that too. Gin No Chaser, All a Clone by the Telephone, In the Cards, Anniversary Dinner, Snip Snip, Answer Me, The Tear Collector, Madness Room, If the Shoes Fit, Levitation, It All Comes Out in the Wash, Bigelow's Last Smoke, Grandma's Last Wish, and The False Prophet. Now that is all 24 episodes of the first season of Tales from the Darkside. The first one I really like, Trick or Treat. The late Bernard Hughes plays a old guy who lives at a house, and he doesn't like trick-or-treaters coming. That was a pretty good one. I already talked about Case of the Stubborns. Inside the Closet was a pretty good one. That, I believe, was directed by Tom Savini. It's about this girl who lives in a dorm, and this creature keeps coming up from the closet, which has appearance by Fritz Weaver is actually in this episode. Mookie and Pookie was okay. Justine Bateman from Family Ties, where her brother has a terminal disease, and he gets into the computer, and his mind's in the computer now. Let's see here. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones, interesting ones on here. I'm just trying to remember a lot of them here. Snip Snip was a pretty good one. Has Carol Kane and Bud Cort, who play these two. She's a witch and he's a warlock, and they keep battling each other to claim a $10 million lottery ticket. Well, that was a pretty interesting one. The Tear Collector. It was okay. It was not my favorite of this season. Basically, it's about a girl named Prudence who she profits from her sadness on a man who collects her tears. I mean, it's not that good. Let's see. It All Comes Out in the Wash. That was an interesting one. It's about where this guy goes to this dry cleaning place to try to clean out his clean clothes, and then he starts to gain like a lot of money because but anyway, yeah, that's a pretty good one. Bigelow's Last Smoke. It's where Mr. Bigelow, on the brink of madness, mysterious figure on TV, and he insists on his unhealthy habits, and it's got an interesting ending of that one. Grandma's Last Wish, makes one last before family puts her in a retirement home. That was a pretty good one. So everybody's like keeps ignoring her, and then she ends up finally getting them to realize. Let's see. Did I miss any other ones on here? I'll Give You a Million. A man accepts $1 million for his immortal soul, but he soon finds out he's dying of cancer. So basically, he just sold his soul for $1 million. Painkiller. A doctor prescribes a miraculous cure for the patient with back pains. Only later the man does find full price of the remedy. Yeah, that's not a bad season. I think Tales from the Darkside was released syndicated. A lot of cable channels back in the 80s would play it like on 64 or 19. And I'm not sure about it, how they played it in other cities or other countries, but I didn't get to see it when it originally came out. I mean, the first time I actually saw Tales from the Darkside would probably be around 93, 94. It had been on like Sci-Fi Channel or something like that, and late at night, and just taping it and watching some episodes. I think WGN actually played some episodes too, which is a Chicago-based channel. Yeah, Tales from the Darkside is definitely a neat, terrifying, frightening anthology series. I like how the beginning, the beginning where it's just shown where the guy's talking, and that was narrated by the late Paul Spear. And then at the end of every episode, he would say something like, "Until next time, try to enjoy the daylight." You know, I thought that was a pretty good, interesting quote that they did for that. I do have seasons 2 and 3. I need to get 4. Out of the 3 seasons I own, I think I like the second one the best. There's a lot of interesting episodes on that one. Yeah, this one, you know, I mean, it does have its creepy ones, it has its twisted ones, got some shocking ones. But George Romero actually, on the commentary on here, he actually mentions that I mean, he actually enjoyed doing the series. He was surprised it lasted 4 years, and I believe one of the people that produced this movie went on to do the other show that lasted for 3 seasons, from '88 to '90, which is Monsters, which is another classic anthology series. That back then they did like, you had Tales from the Darkside, you had Monsters, and then Friday the 13th ended up coming up in between there sometimes, and Freddy's Nightmares, and then I think even the Twilight Zone, the 80s version, was around in that area too. And then they kind of after like 90, 91, they kind of like drove down. They didn't have many anthology series back in the 90s. But yeah, I mean, would I definitely recommend Tales from the Darkside? Oh yeah. I mean, if you enjoy anthology like short stories, kind of like Amazing Stories and Tales from the Crypt from the 90s, you know, so yeah, I mean, it was a great show. I mean, it lasted 4 seasons, so obviously a lot of people enjoyed watching different short stories. I think they were only like 25 minutes long. I mean, some of the Tales from the Crypt were longer because, you know, it was HBO, and they had the language and the nudity, and you didn't have broadcast people holding you back from certain things. But yeah, I mean, Tales from the Darkside was definitely a recommendation. How would I give the first season? I would probably give it about a 3.5, something like that. And as far as 0 through 10. I'd probably give it about a 5. Yeah, certain other seasons were actually better than this one, but as it started, I mean, it started really well. I mean, I haven't really seen the 4th one in a long time, so once I do get that, I mean, maybe it went down from hill from there, and then that's the reason why they went ahead and stopped the 1 episodes. Yeah, that's Tales from the Darkside. I mean, I know that wasn't as long as the Friday the 13th 3-parter and humongous video I did, but you know, I mean, considering that Tales from the Darkside was a very popular show in the 80s on special and syndication, I mean, so it's got a lot of guest stars on it. I could read off every person that's in it, but it'd take forever. But I mean, I didn't mention some, and a lot of them are no longer with us. But it has some great directors as well. And the 2nd season, I'll probably do a review on that in the coming weeks. So yeah, I mean, today it's hotter than hell outside, I tell you. I'm doing this video with no air conditioner in the window and my fan turned off. so you can hear my voice. My hand is sweating. I tell you, I can't wait till summer ends. It's ridiculous. But anyway, enough about my problems. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't already, check out my three-parter on Friday the 13th. Thank you for all the subscribing and all the comments that people have left me. I do read them. So in closing, thank you for subscribing, and you have a great day. Give the thumbs up if you enjoy my videos, and I will see you on Friday for the three-parter on Friday the 13th Part 2.